This conference will now be recorded.
Hey everybody, it's Dr. Doug Smith. It's Thursday, a little bit after 2:30. We had a little hardware issue. Batteries died on the keyboard. That's actually, you don't get a warning or anything. All of a sudden, the thing just goes dead. That's a frustration. Anyway, we apologize. We're a few minutes late, but here we are. And this is what I wanted to end with this week. This is important. Okay, as you guys know, I'm going through the process of writing the book, and I hope you understand. I'm doing my absolute best job. Okay, and I'm trying not to let the anger come through in the book, but it's hard. It's real hard not to let the anger come through. For me, particularly at the FDA, because we worked so hard to explain to them what was going on, and we were right. Okay, and they're not going, or let me rephrase that. We're not going to see justice for the FDA. We are not going to see justice for the FDA. They will get away with it. And the reason that they will get away with it is what's on the screen, what in front of you. It's called sovereign immunity. The key word there is immunity. Sovereign immunity basically means governmental immunity. They're a government agency. They're immune specifically from lawsuits, except certain circumstances where they actually give you permission to file a lawsuit, which isn't going to cover us. So they're immune. What they did is horrible. What they did, they killed a lot of people. Don't hold your breath that they're going to see justice, because they have sovereign immunity. And the courts are going to look at that and go, we're not getting involved in that. We determined sovereign immunity decades ago. We're not going to revisit sovereign immunity, especially when it's just going to turn out to be a waste of time. Now, at first, you might hear that and you might be disappointed. And that would be a normal reaction. But my job, part of my job, is explain things to you, sometimes complicated things. And let me explain to you why there's no need to be disappointed. Do not be disappointed, and here's why. Sovereign immunity means that the folks at the FDA are going to get away scot-free. But what that means for us is that all the liability, every bit of the liability, 100% of the liability stays on the pharmaceutical manufacturers and the supply chain. They can't attempt to push any of the liability off on the FDA. For the same reason that we can't drag the FDA into court for what they did, the manufacturers can't push responsibility off on the FDA, which you know as well as I do. That's the first thing they try to do. Oh, it wasn't our fault, it's FDA. No, they have sovereign immunity. Can't push liability onto sovereign immunity. Can't do it. Okay, justice needs to be served here, and the FDA is not going to be a factor in seeing justice. You trusted the FDA. That was your mistake, and now you're going to pay a huge price. So I wanted to kind of go through that today, because at first you might be disappointed that the FDA they're not going to see their day in court. Don't kid yourself. Yeah, maybe we can get criminal negligence against a few of them, and I want that, and I actually turned over a list of names to Attorney General Pam Bondi, who I think are candidates for criminal negligence. But I'm not going to hold my breath. Okay, it needed to be done. But the real thing here is to file these mass tort lawsuits against the pharmaceutical companies. Here's what I want you to know about the mass tort lawsuit. Okay, and this is why I like it. It's not like some other lawsuits. Okay, it's you get to have your own lawyer. And that lawyer is going to work on a contingency. In other words, they're not going to charge you up front. They'll take a cut when all is said and done. It's not going to cost you any money to have a lawyer. You get to have your own lawyer. Okay. Or if you don't want a different lawyer, you can just use our lawyer. Okay. And you get to decide when you're going to settle. Nobody can tell you what to do. I hope as many of you as possible take this all the way to the end. Take this all the way to the end. Hold out for the biggest deal possible. That's the only way we can bring them to justice, and the only way we can try to prevent this from happening again. They trusted the psychiatrists. They looked the other way is what they did. They looked the other way, and they made a lot of money off of non-scientific factors. This stuff with the opioids wasn't scientific. That's a big part of the book. Okay, the psychiatrists are not part of science. They're pseudoscience. The psychiatrists are as accurate as your horoscope. And that's a historical fact. Okay, and that's a big part of what we'll be bringing out in the book. Anyway, I wanted to share that with you guys today. Have a great weekend. We'll see you back Monday at 2:30. Don't forget to like and subscribe to us. Don't forget to post this podcast on your social media and everybody else's social media. And everybody have a great weekend. Thanks. Bye-bye.